Verstappen's triumph at the Hungaroring lacked the Grand Slam clean sweeps he achieved in Austria and Silverstone, thanks to Hamilton's Q3 magic and the Dutchman's own little underperformance, but it nonetheless drove him to a 110-point lead over Sergio Perez. This season's domination hasn't gone down well with some people on the grid, with some even opting for new regulations to let others catch up with Red Bull. This has prompted Toto Wolff to state his opinion on the current state of Red Bull's domination. Even though it wasn't a Grand Slam, the 33-second lead at the end of the race just showed how dominant the Verstappen-Red Bull combination really is. This is his biggest lead of the season, but he also recorded a 27-second lead in Monaco and a 24-second lead in Spain, for example. The scariest thing of all? He wasn't even driving to the limit if we must believe Helmut Marko. Max could have driven even faster. He wasn't driving at the limit by a long shot, said Helmut Marko. This is barely unexpected, considering how dominating the Dutchman has been this year, with only F1's extended modern schedule preventing him from winning the world title in the 11th race of the season, as Michael Schumacher did 21 years ago. F1 is looking for new, engaging stories on track to keep things exciting, but Red Bull is doing little for them right now, despite its much larger position as the championship's main team this season. This is because it continues to set records, breaking McLaren's 35-year-old record for most consecutive wins in Hungary. Red Bull now has 12 straight after adding Verstappen's 2022 Abu Dhabi victory to its 11 2023 victories. Without George Russell's triumph in Brazil last year, the squad would be on 22. But these aren't the stories that gets the fans excited anymore. Because of Red Bull's overwhelming dominance this season, the potential of introducing steps to control the performance of single-seaters and create a tighter grid has been raised. Toto Wolff, on the other hand, does not feel that this is a solution and states that he loved this sport because it is meritocratic. This season, only Red Bull has experienced the thrill of reaching the top of the podium. The Austrian team has won the previous 11 Grand Prix, and if we include their triumph last season, they have the longest continuous winning run in history, 12. A streak that everything indicates to continuing in the coming Grand Prix, because the RB19 supremacy has been undeniable this season, and no team has been able to compete for a win. And on top of that, Red Bull keep upgrading their current dominant car. In response to this circumstance, various voices have asked for the implementation of new rules that compress the grid. Among the petitions was one from Lewis Hamilton, which the FIA denied. Toto Wolff, the Mercedes team leader, is likewise opposed to these proposals and rules out using a balance of performance, as is the case in the WEC. The reason why I love this sport is because it is meritocratic. Entertainment follows sport, not the other way round, Wolff said. We cannot create a balance of performance or anything that levels the grid. It is what it is, he added. Wolff maintains that, while a team's superiority is bad for the show, the grid cannot be regulated from the outside, and that the solution is to work better to catch Red Bull. We've had this situation for years with Mercedes, where we finished first and second in every race, and that certainly wasn't good for entertainment either, said the team boss. For this reason, we just need to work better and get back in contention because, like many fans, we feel frustrated, he added to close. Red Bull in its current form is a Formula 1 record breaker, with the other teams attempting to catch up, but it is both an optical and technological deception as they continue to fall farther and farther behind Red Bull's dominance. The combination of Max Verstappen, the magical RB19, Red Bull team boss Christian Horner, Adrian Newey and Helmut Marko, who is designated as the counselor in his capacity as motorsport advisor, relish this supremacy, which has allowed the team to win 12 straight races and set a new F1 record in the process. They are better than the rest of the field, and they're not afraid to use their hegemony as a psychological weapon. The most recent example of this occurred in Budapest, when the RB19, untouchable since Bahrain, arrived with not just developments but a revolution. As if to indicate that the team does not only want to beat its opponents, but seeks every bit of performance left in their car to annihilate their rivals. While the car remains mostly unchanged for the rest of 2023, it also serves as a preview of what to anticipate from the 2024 RB20 machine. And it is an image that Mercedes and Ferrari will not enjoy viewing. It's no longer merely a matter of aerodynamics, as the RB19 is being tuned to absolute perfection. Red Bull are doing everything they can to ensure their dominance until the big regulation change in 2026 at least. Chief Technical Officer Adrian Newey is finally able to unleash his full intellect. and inventiveness, due with technical competence now that Red Bull are also building most of their engine in-house. Next to this, Red Bull came in Hungary with their biggest yearly upgrade that revealed a completely new sidepod shape, with the cross-section of the air intakes so narrow that they resemble letterboxes. A side-by-side comparison reveals the impact of the aero improvements made to the RB19 in Hungary. The inlet has a lip that extends towards the front and vertically. It's also inclined upwards. The whole lower profile of the sidepod has changed and has been raised so to increase the channel between the sidepods and floor. In addition, the lower edge of the sidepods are more rounded compared to the more squared layout of the previous version. The sidepod update wasn't a big surprise as everyone knew it was coming, but the end result did surprise. The timing was especially intriguing because Hungary is often one of the warmest races of the year, necessitating large amounts of cooling. However, regardless of the weather, the RB19's engine is more effective at higher operating temperatures than the other power units. The power units are now developed in-house by Red Bull powertrains, but with a lot of Honda know-how, which means synergy with Newey and his crew has been optimized, making integration a lot simpler for mastermind Adrian, and the package's total dependability allows for even more ruthlessness. Even though the engine and sidepod are receiving most of the attention right now, many of the RB19 secrets are on the floor, with Red Bull's rivals getting a lot of help when a Monaco crane operator hauled Sergio Perez's car following the crash in May. Photographers grabbed multiple images of the floor and practically every other team followed suit, but Horner and his colleagues pushed it a step further, as the floor has since been updated multiple times. Perhaps it is merely to bully the other teams and demonstrate how strong the RB19 is, but it is also to utilize the second half of the 2023 season as a test and data collecting run for 2024. But it isn't all smooth sailing for Red Bull, as they've been running into some small problems with the new tyres introduced during the British Grand Prix. Or at least some problems were anticipated, and Alonso even said after the Grand Prix that Red Bull and Aston Martin were hit by the recent tyre changes. But these rumours have already been dismissed by Red Bull themselves. Red Bull chief engineer Paul Monahan has called into doubt Fernando Alonso's belief that Pirelli's new Formula 1 tyres are affecting the performance of the car. Pirelli debuted a new tyre specification at the British Grand Prix, capable of withstanding the higher-than-expected loads produced by cars in the first half of the season. Compounds remained unchanged, with the teams putting the strength and structure to the test ahead of the Spanish Grand Prix in June. Alonso had finished 7th and 9th in Britain and Hungary since the new tyres were installed, indicating a reduction in performance from his Aston Martin outfit. He called the alteration a coincidence and claimed Red Bull was also affected, pointing out that the pace setter did not win pole position in Hungary, although by 0.003 seconds. Monahan, on the other hand, is skeptical of Alonso's allegations. That's hard to tell because we were given the opportunity in Spain to do a back-to-back with the new tyres, and learned a little bit of what was coming and prepared ourselves for Silverstone, Monahan told the media. People will remember the British Grand Prix after the safety car, but if you look prior to the safety car, Max Verstappen, relative to Lando Norris, put himself in a reasonable position. It closed up and everybody rolled the dice on what tyre to put on thereafter. Monahan believed that the shift in fortunes of Aston Martin was purely due to the development battle between teams, rather than tyres. We can't put other people's cars back on the previous tyres, so I can't answer your question objectively, but subjectively, no one is standing still, he said. The challenge is to try and sort your car out through this year and give yourself a better platform into next year. Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, Alpine, Alfa Romeo are all allowed to develop. They have a little bit more wind tunnel and CFD time than us, which is fine and nature of the beast. It might not just be the tyres, we're looking at what other people have done. It looks like Red Bull have already found their answers to get the best out of the new compound. They really are on another level this season, but will this continue in 2024? And will we see some regulation changes to level the playing field? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to let us know your expectations for this weekend's Belgian Grand Prix, which is looking to be another wet race. So, who are you betting on? Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you in the next one.